What if, instead of fighting your fear or running from it or pretending it isn't sitting right there next to you, you just poured it a cup of tea? Welcome back to Softening into Momentum. I'm Miki, and of everything in this whole season, this might be the essay that most plainly shows you what I mean when I talk about mindfulness or Buddhist curiosity or radical compassion, because here I'm applying all three to the one emotion most of us spend our whole lives avoiding. This is, I sat with fear for a cup of tea. I set the kettle to boil and pulled 2 cups from the cabinet, one for me and one for fear. Today, instead of running from it or fighting against it, I decided to invite fear to tea. After all, it had been following me for so long. Perhaps it was time we had a proper conversation. Can I trust myself? If not me, then who do I trust? Who have I placed my trust in for all of these years? With each day that passes, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm really starting to recognize the girl that I see. Whenever I'm in doubt, whenever I find myself starting to forget who I am and why I'm here, I take a pause and I look at myself in the mirror. I look myself in the eyes. Those eyes that will sometimes lie, sometimes protect me with a thin layer of hesitation, a thin layer of doubt, of artificial and sometimes automatic feelings, a thin layer of lies. But not the kinds that will cause substantial pain. These are not lies that would destroy civilizations or would create wars. But they may be a small, thin layer of lies that could hurt a friend if they were listening close enough. Maybe it's not so much a lie as it is withholding the whole truth. I hold some things back, but who am I to judge or to deem which thoughts or emotions are worthy of being heard by the rest of the world? Who am I to say that the thoughts in my brain might cause harm to another? They might, but they also might not. There's really no way to know unless I decide to pull back that thin layer and say them. And so what if someone does get hurt or offended or has a different opinion than I do? What then? What exactly am I afraid of? Fear can be a monster that we choose to fight, to battle, or fear can be seen as a friend that exists to protect us from something, to protect us from deeper reality or outcome. What would happen if we chose to, instead of running from fear or go to war with it, but to sit quietly with our fear for a few moments and let it be with us? What if we invited fear to tea? The tea party begins. I set the table carefully. My grandmother's porcelain teacup with the hairline crack, a small plate of cookies I'll probably never eat, and an empty chair across from mine. Fear doesn't need an invitation. It's always lingering nearby. But today, instead of slamming the door in its face, I pull out the chair. Please, sit down. I've been expecting you. I sat with my fear today. I sat with the feeling of not being good enough, smart enough, talented enough, lucky enough. I sat with the fear that I am financially struggling. And then I really started to sit with that thought. Am I actually struggling? Or do things just keep moving and shifting? The world keeps on turning and I just feel like I'm stuck, static, unmoved. I'm not homeless. I'm not completely broke, but I do lack the opportunity to not have to worry, to not have to calculate or plan or make some sort of random purchase based on a feeling. I think sometimes that's a good thing. But there is no in case of emergency fund. There never was. So I live my life very carefully, very quietly. I try not to make any sudden movements, just in case an emergency finds me. I try to stay very hidden from those emergencies. Maybe if I don't make any sudden movements, they won't find me, and I can keep on living my quiet life. Fear nods, stoic and silent, patient, much more patient than I was expecting. The questions we ask over tea. The tea steeps too long and turns bitter, like the questions I finally dare to ask. Fear doesn't flinch when I speak directly to it. What is a struggle is a struggle to dream, or to plan so far out into the future, or to dream beyond my means or the scope of how I currently see the world, or at least used to be. It used to be, this is what I have, and it's up to me to make the best with what I've got. Maybe tomorrow I'll have more, or maybe less. There's really no telling. All I can do is be thankful for what I've got today, take care of it, and hopefully there will be more tomorrow. Let's see. Let's wait and see. It's hard to take action and make any kind of forward momentum when you are stuck in those thought processes. Only this moment is real. That's so encouraging until you remember that there is more likely going to be a tomorrow, and what then? Will tomorrow show up and there will be such an incredible opportunity that will change the outcome of my livelihood? Maybe. Maybe so. It depends on how deeply I'm looking. Fear's true face. Is it an opportunity or fear? I sat with my fear today and asked that. What is this fear trying to protect me from right now? Is it helpful? Is it working? Or is it adding to my hurt? Adding to my stuckness? Adding to my worry? Is the fear creating more fear? I pour another cup. And as the steam rises between us, fear's features soften. It looks more like concern now, or perhaps caution. Its voice is gentler than I expected. I am afraid that my cat may die before I'm ready. I'll never be ready. That's the truth. But in sitting here and being afraid that I'll lose her before I'm ready, I'll miss out on all of the amazing moments, the slow blinks, the purrs, the gorgeous sound of her breathing or waddling up the stairs or whining and asking for second breakfast. She is the love of my life. With that weight of such unconditional love comes fear. Fear that the love will someday be lost and that the house will be quiet and I will finally be here alone. Left with the memories of a fat and happy cat, a life well lived. I am afraid that the people I love suffer in silence, and that their suffering is so much greater and louder than mine. I am afraid that they may never know just how much I love them, and how much they mean to me, and how much I think of them. I think of you every single day. I love you. I never want you to suffer. But I know I cannot control what other people think and feel. I know that the burden of their suffering is not mine to carry. What fear whispers. There is peace in feeling this fear. I do choose to see it as an opportunity. It's an opportunity to find the hidden emotion that's underneath, and the emotion that's almost always there is love and compassion and gratitude. As our tea grows cold, fear reaches across the table, not to grab or threaten, but to point at what I've been missing. Behind every fear of loss lies a miracle, that I have something precious enough to lose. Behind every fear of failure is the courage to try something that matters. Behind every fear of rejection is the vulnerable beauty of reaching out. I sat with fear, and we had a cup of tea, and fear told me that I was so very lucky to feel all these feelings so very deeply. I feel better. The fear has kept my heart safe for another day. The ongoing invitation. Now, when fear knocks at my door in the middle of the night, I no longer pretend that I'm not home. I've learned its language isn't always one of warning, but sometimes of wisdom. Sometimes it speaks of boundaries I need to honor or truths I've been avoiding. I've started keeping the kettle ready. There will always be tea for fear when it visits. Not because I welcome its stay, but because I've learned that acknowledging its presence takes away half its power. The other half, I'm learning, transforms into something unexpected when given space to breathe. Fear, it turns out, makes for complicated company. But it's teaching me to recognize the girl in the mirror a little more clearly with each passing day. Eyes that see more honestly. A heart that loves more completely. Life lived not in the shadows of what might go wrong, but in the full light of what is. And for that lesson, I can spare another cup of tea. This whole essay is one long demonstration of turning toward instead of away. I just want to name that right here, right now, because I think it's the most useful, most immediately usable thing in this entire season for you. Inviting fear to tea. Instead of exiling it to the basement of yourself and pretending that you don't hear it pacing down there, that's the reframe. That's the tool. You can use this one today, this week, the next time fear shows up uninvited in your heart, which, let's be honest, is often. And watch what happens over the course of that tea. Fear doesn't stay fear the whole time. It softens. By the end, it's closer to a feeling of concern, maybe even something tender, something almost like a friend, pointing at what actually matters to me. My late cat, the people I love, all the ways loss could ever find me. And I think that's the real secret hiding inside most of our fear. It's actually love, just wearing a disguise it thinks it needs. Underneath almost every fear that I sat with that day was something that I loved enough to be afraid of losing. There's a moment in there. I look at myself in the mirror. I try to recognize the girl staring back at me, and I want to be really honest. It's not really an essay about fear at all. Underneath everything, that's an essay that I wrote about learning to trust my own reflection again. Fear was just the doorway in. And here's a piece of Buddhist teaching I keep coming back to with this one. Right view. Seeing clearly what a feeling is actually communicating, instead of what your nervous system assumes it means the moment that it shows up. Fear as a messenger, as an informer, not a danger. Fear as information, not injury. That's not some comforting platitude. It's a genuinely different way of relating to the sensation in your chest the next time that it shows up uninvited. I want to actually do this with you right now, beautiful soul, not just talk about it. So, wherever you are, driving, walking, sitting still, think of one fear that you've been avoiding this week. Something you've been avoiding facing because of the fear that it causes you. Just name it, even just to yourself. And then silently or out loud, if you're somewhere where you can, say to it, I see you. I feel you. And I can be with you. I see you. I feel you. And I can be with you. That's it. That's the whole practice. No breathing exercise required. The essay already gave us the ritual. I just wanted you to actually do it instead of just hearing about it. And I would love to hear how that experience went for you. Please reach out to me. Let me know in the comments. What would it look like to set a second cup this week for whatever it is you've been avoiding? If you found yourself nodding along, recognizing your own fear in this story, that's exactly what the Metta Momentum Sangha is for. It's free, it's on school, and it's full of people learning to sit with their fear instead of running from it, together. Permission to be goes further into this practice, and the Softening into Momentum cohort beginning August 3rd offers live, small group support if you want company while you learn to pour that second cup. Come find us. The Softening into Momentum podcast is lovingly curated, created, written, edited, and produced by me, Miki, with accompanying sound bath frequencies by my good friend, Static. If you would like to dive further into his incredible musical work, please go to YouTube or wherever you stream music at Static is Noise. Permission to Be is an 8-week mindful sobriety and self-trust journey back to yourself. Rooted in compassion, nervous system awareness, Buddhist philosophy, and lived experience, it's for anyone, regardless of what path you're on or what it is you seek. You don't need to fix yourself. You need a gentler way home. Learn more in the show notes. Thank you so much for softening into this moment with me. Until we meet again, namaste.